Another lady that's my really close friend, they stamped their passport, and when they went to the social security office that week to go and do their social security number, they found out that what they stamped on their passport was 1 year prior. They came in the January of 2023, but what was stamped was the same day, January of 2022. They had to go back again to the airport. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about how I started my life as a nurse in the US, what to expect in the first 2 days once you come into the US so you can manage your expectations, okay? Number one is arrival at the airport. When I came in to the airport, it was quite big. We had a train take us from the plane to the US immigration border, the building that they were in. So we got in there. It was a long line. Jesus. When I came in, I was so confused first. When you're coming in, they'll give you your passport that has your visa in it. At this point, you've not gotten the green card yet. I was confused because I felt like, green card, I was supposed to go, and then they were like, US citizen and US green card holders should go in a different line, and then every other passport from every other nationality should go the other way. So I stood there for a while and later I turned back and I went to meet one of the the people that was directing us, and I asked him that, please, that where should I go? This is my visa. He looked at my visa and he was like, oh, just go, because you don't have the green card yet, go to this line. Now let me explain what that means. Once you pick up your visa, you are to go on the USCIS website and pay $220 for your green card. Now, the plastic card that they will give you, that is what you will do. There's a number on your visa. It's called the alien number. That number on your visa is what you're going to use to pay for that card, for that green card. So I did that in Nigeria, before I came to the US. Now, you can either do it in Nigeria once you get your visa, or you can do it when you come into the US. So I did it the day I picked up my visa. I just paid the money. Well, after I did that, and then we went through immigration. On the day you picked up your passport too, they are going to give you a packet. It's called the visa packet. They are going to give you a yellow packet. It's yellowish brown, envelope. It has this tiny slit on the upside. Please, if you do not take anything from this video, take this. Do not open that envelope, and put the envelope in your carry-on bag. Do not put it in your check-in bag. Please, do not put it in your check-in bag. I'll repeat it for the third time. Do not put it in your check-in bag. Put it in your carry-on, because once you get to the border, that is what you're going to give to the CBP officer. That is the custom border officer that is there. That is what you're going to give to them. So when I was in the line and I went to the CBP officer, I gave her my passport and I gave her that brown envelope that I had picked up with my passport from the DHL office. I gave it to her and she opened it. She saw my name. She opened the passport. She looked at the category of the visa that they gave to me, and then she opened the brown packet herself. Inside the brown packet is all the documents you submitted during your interview. Those original documents I spoke about in my last video. That's everything that is in there. Your police report, the fingerprint card, every single thing is what is there. She was the one that, did that. She took that from me. And then she asked me some questions. Where was I going to? Which hospital am I going to be working at? Where am I going to be living? Because many people might not have an apartment when they are coming in. So I told her that I was going to be staying in a hotel. I told her the name of the hotel. I told her where the hotel was, because my agency 2 or 3 days prior to my flight, had sent me my itinerary and my hotel details. So I knew where I was going to, I knew the hotel I was sleeping in, I knew the person who was going to pick me up. I had the person's picture, their name, and also about where I was going to, so I can answer these questions, right? Now, note, it's not everybody they ask these questions, but just be prepared for them either ways. So they could ask you, who is your agency? Or who is your petitioner? That is the name they might use. Who is your petitioner? And when they ask you who is your petitioner, you should say your agency's name. Now, for some of my friends and some other people, they didn't ask them any question. They just took their passport, looked at it, looked at their brown envelope, and then they stamped it. This is important too. Please note. Hi there, I know you must be enjoying this video and getting so much value from it. Why don't you hit the subscription button, like this video, and comment on it. When you do this, YouTube pushes this video out so that more people could see it and more people could gain more values just like you were doing. So without further ado, let's jump right back into the video. Thank you. If they did not ask you for your brown paper, your brown packet, give it to them. Do not take it away from there. Don't wait for them to ask you. Don't stand there waiting for them to ask you. Once you give them your passport, give them that brown envelope paper as well. You are not supposed to take it out of that place. Okay? So once you hold your passport, once you come down from the plane, you are holding your passport in your hand. Bring out that brown packet that was in your carry-on bag. Give both of them to the officer, whether they ask you or not. Why am I saying this? If you take that thing out of that place, you're not going to be giving your social security number or your green card. My friend took hers away and she called me after 2 weeks or so, and she was asking me that, their social security number, what would they do? I said, did you give them? She said, no. I said, why? So what we did was we had to look for their number. The husband went down there to the airport that we used, spoke to one of the officers, and they told her to drop it, to do a drop box. And after a couple of weeks, that was when their social security number and their green card came out. So you don't want all these delays, because you need your social security to do a lot of things during your first couple of weeks in the US. So you need to make sure you hand that over to them. Once I gave it to her, she stamped my passport. This is another thing to make note of. Make sure they stamp your passport with the correct date. Another lady that is my really close friend, they stamped their passport, and when they went to the social security office that week to go and do their social security number, they found out that what they stamped on their passport was 1 year prior. They came in January of 2023, but what was stamped was the same day, January of 2022. They had to go back again to the airport to correct that. Okay, so please, these are the things to look out for. I know, yes, by the time you're landing, you must be tired, or you might be super excited to be in the US, but there are certain things you need to keep your eyes open for. Number one is making sure that your brown packet is in your school bag and it is not squeezed, it is not torn, it is not opened. It is the way they gave it to you at the DHL. When you pick it up, don't be afraid of that slant open cut that you see. It is normal. But anything beyond that slant open cut, please. One other lady that was in the group that I was in, when because she opted for her own to be sent to her house, and when he arrived to her house, it was completely torn open. She called the embassy, and the embassy told her to bring it back to them. So she brought it back to them, and they closed it up and gave her a new one, like a new envelope. So you see how important it is, because if it's already tampered with or opened with prior, they can send you back to your home country for that reason. So we don't want that. No matter the country you are in, you would get this brown packet once your visa is approved. Once you pick up your passport, you're going to pick it up with it. Okay? Another thing again that happened for me is that after it was stamped, I went to baggage claim. I took my bags. I was exhausted. I was so tired. And then I connected to the Wi-Fi of the airport so that I would be in contact with the person that was supposed to come and pick me up, and I was able to, reach out to the man, and he picked me up. We went straight to the hotel that night. Once I got to the hotel, I went to sleep. Like, I went to sleep. I got to the US in the morning. I just went to sleep. You will not believe that I slept for over 12 hours. Like, I was blacked out because I knew that we are not going to do anything that day I landed. So I just went to sleep, and then I was so tired. I was so jet lagged. Now, the next day in the morning, before I went to sleep the previous day, my ambassador had told me that we are going to meet up at 10 a.m. So we are going to start our day the next day at the hotel lobby at 10 a.m. I was like, okay. So I had in mind, set my alarm already for 10 a.m., to prepare and calm down. One thing you should know is, in that hotel, when they put you in, do not miss, let me repeat, do not miss that breakfast, that free breakfast they give. Don't miss it though. If not, hunger will finish you. First couple of days, the hunger that happens in the first couple of days is ridiculous, because one, you're not going to see any proper home food meal to eat except somebody takes you out, and the truth is that you might not have enough. In fact, you would want to do other things instead of spending your money on buying food, like good food, because of how pricey Nigerian food is in the US. You might just want to do other stuff, except you have family. Most people are blessed that they have family. If you have family that can integrate you in the US, you don't know what God has done for you. Because if you had gone through the life that I went through, because like I said, I didn't know anybody. The next day we came downstairs and I ate the breakfast in the lounge, and then it was contract signing. Now, remember that when you were in Nigeria or when you were in your previous country, you had signed a contract with these agencies. Now, it's not a different contract, okay? It is still the same contract, but now it is more extensive because they give you options for medicals, for dentals, for vision, for accidental insurance, all these other things are added. That was when they gave me my SIM. They also gave me my new phone. My agency gave me an iPhone SE, the third generation, which is the 2022 model. So it was the phone that was just released the year before, right? And that was the phone that they gave to me. And setting up the phone, we did a lot of going through those contracts. Please and please, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to beg you as I say it. If you feel exhausted, if you feel that you're too tired to go through paperwork, please leave it. Anything you don't understand, mark it. Put a dot beside it and ask questions so that you be clarified. Because part of the things you're going to sign is known as a W-9, which is your tax form. You're going to fill it if single, or if you're going to file if you're like single, or if you're married filing as single, or if you're married filing jointly. These are questions that you want to ask the person that is there, that is overseeing that contract. In my case, was my rival ambassador. It's also a question that you want to ask other people, other nurses who are already in the US. These are questions you want to ask them. What do I do? What do you think is the best route to go for? Because they are important papers. Okay, if you are so tired that you can't sign it, or there are things that you don't understand, you can always sign it later. You can ask for explanations. Don't sign away yourself blindly. Make sure you understand anything that you don't understand, that it was not clarified, or anything that they told you. For example, they said, oh, we are giving you a 2.5 years contract, but then you come to the US, they're giving you this other contract, which is the one that you go ahead with, and is saying that you are going to do 3 years. It's not correct. And make sure that thing is rectified before you append any signature there. Make sure it is rectified. One of the things for me was that my agency had an agreement and a consensus that my contract was in hours. I was to work about a couple of hours, thousands of hours. And when I came in, I made sure that was the same thing that was reflecting on my paper, because As time went on, I realized that there were people who had different contracts than I did. Some people had years contract. Some people had different amount of money that they were going to start with. That was their start pay. Some people had different things, right? And this is also where you will know how much exactly you are going to be paid. With my own agency, even most couple of agencies, because the first offer they give you is just an offer letter. Then once you come in, then when you will now do like the proper offer letter with the proper contract. All right. So make sure that you are seeing these things correctly. Now, after we did all this, we went first to the bank. I went to Bank of America to open a bank account. Note at this point, I didn't have a social security number, but I was still able to open an account because of the kind of visa that I have. And they know, okay, I was going to get it. I just don't have it right now. But you see this banking thing, let me give you a story. We went to the first bank, and these bank people were so racist. That was the first time I experienced racism. They were so racist. They looked down at me and my ambassador, because my ambassador was Jamaican. He was black too. So the lady that we saw, the way she looked at us from like our legs to our heads and back down. She was looking at us like weirdly. And then we came in, we stated what we wanted, because my agency has an affiliation with the bank. Maybe she doesn't know, I don't know. But she just treated us as if no, we are not welcome there. We're like trash. Like, I was like, this is serious. So my ambassador was like, you know what, let's leave, let's go somewhere else. So we left and we went somewhere else. We went to a different bank, and we opened an account with them, which is Bank America now. And they were so nice. Oh my God. The person who was my representative, she was taking everything like everything, every step of the way. She was so cautious with me. She was just trying to like make sure that we were getting the best deal, basically, like, we are doing the right thing, right? And it was such a lovely experience with them. And the second thing after that was we went for vaccinations. There are some vaccinations that you would do when you get to the US, depending on the season you came into the US. So if you came into the US within the flu season is September to March. That is the flu season. So you would get a flu shot. And flu shots are every year. So in as much as I took a flu shot in Nigeria, I still needed a new flu shot here in the US. I also did a drug test, a urine drug test. I did face mask fitting. Because of the unit I was going to be working in, I went to do N95 fitting, because here it's not just if you see N95 you wear. You have to wear the one that is suited for your face. Not all N95 is suited for everybody's face. Okay. Then after we are done with all the official things, I just asked my ambassador that, can we go to Washington Monument to see the monument, to see the Lincoln House, to see White House, and all these things. I didn't know they were even close to each other. I just wanted to see them. One thing you will know about me is I'm a movie person. I watch a lot of movies. I watched a lot of American movies, especially like their political movies. I just loved it. I watched Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen. I watched Designated Survivors. All these beautiful movies. Then I wanted to see. I even watched Quantico. Then, all these DC, FBI, and those kind of movies. And if you are into those kind of movies too, you would notice that they were always showing the White House. They were always using the White House. They were always showing the monuments and all this, the Capitol. I really wanted to see these things because I was living in Maryland, and the area in Maryland I was living was like about 10 to 15 minutes drive into DC. So it wasn't that far. He just checked it and it was about 5 miles. And he was like, oh yeah, sure, let's go. We are done with every official things that we are doing. So we went to the monument. I was so excited. I was just videoing from when I saw the monument from afar off. I was just videoing it. I was videoing, the streets, the parks, and everything. I videoed it. I wanted to. I took pictures. We couldn't go to the White House that day, but I went on a later date. Yeah, I still went back there. See, I am a huge DC girl. So just leave me to. I was in my world that day. I was so happy. This thing you have been seeing in movies, now you're seeing it in real life. My excitement was beyond the roof. My excitement was beyond the roof. He took pictures of me. I took pictures of the entire place. This is a picture of me and my ambassador. And I was like, you know what, just take pictures of me everywhere. So he took pictures of me. And I took a picture of Lincoln House. This is the Lincoln House. I stood from, because we couldn't go. I didn't want to, it was my second day. I was trying not to offend anybody. So I didn't go there. I just stood where I was, and I was able to zoom in and take this picture. So this is a picture of that Lincoln place, and this is also the picture of the White House from where I was standing. The White House was at my background. If you look at the background of this picture, you will see that that's where the White House is, and this is a close-up picture of the White House. This is a close up. This other day when I went, by myself, and I was able to see, go there, because the White House is also like a tourist site. So it is not like some of these government house that you will never see. You are allowed to come in the front. You can come into that garden side. They allow you go inside, but between where we are standing and the White House itself is a whole different thing. You can't go inside the White House, but there's a place that you can stand, that you can actually see the White House properly. So I used my phone. I was taking pictures of the White House. I saw these two security guys on the roof. I used to watch it in movies, where they have the snipers that are mounted on each side of the White House. I didn't even know that until I took this picture and I saw two people. I was like, oh my God. It was a very exciting thing. That's like basically it. After that, from the White House, we went back to see my hospital where I was going to be working at. So I also took a picture in front of the hospital as well. And it was such a beautiful experience. One thing that happened to me that day, I forgot the fact that cold almost finished me. I was so cold. The jacket that I had gotten, this particular jacket that I was wearing, was not even like the one that was covering cold at all. So it was one of those things that they would say for you, Yaba, Lagos. These are like the couple of days that I spent, the first 2 days before real life hit me. But yeah, the first 2 days was exciting for me because I was able to see these things. Even from the tone of my voice, you know how passionate and how happy I am when it comes to going to DC. Right. I hope that when you come, that you have with this, experience, and the fact that you now know what to expect where you're going to. I hope your process is more smoother. I hope your process goes with ease, and I hope that everything turns out to be just fine. All right. And I hope this story inspires you to start your US process. If you have been delaying, if you have been pushing it back, this is your sign to start. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.